Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I'll bring to you a unit you all told me was bad. Okay? Now, I am not a Sisters player, but I do like to look at every faction, detachments, units within the game of 40k. And of course, you know where everybody told me this unit was bad when Champions of Faith for the Sisters came out. And I'm like, how is that possible? This is 13 points per model and their ability, while an Adepta Sororitas character is leading this unit, -1 to wound. Uh, going in attacks going into them. I'm like, for cheap, this is pretty solid. That means a lot of things that were wounding you on threes goes to fours, which is significantly better. And if your opponent was ever spending their unit that had strength 6 to clear this up, so they're going on twos, they're now going to threes, which was already a bad decision on their end anyway, right? So, um, you know, I was like, this unit seems pretty good, and then you have Champions of Faith, which makes them better, and the whole detachment is like, yeah, this, that, whatever. So I understood the whole Miracle Dice argument where you all have less Miracle Dice. I understood all of that. But then let's not act like the unit is just that bad from what everybody told me. Why do I say that it apparently isn't bad? Well, because you all got buffed, right? You all got your miracle dice back for the most part. And since then, two people, Jeffrey and Tiffy, have been showing the world again that yes, sisters still have play. And would you guess what unit people are taking? Now, mind you, in Jeffrey's list, we don't have as many. In fact, in this one, we have none. But it starts over here with Tivy, right? Tivy has triple hospitalers. I don't know. I've heard it in several different accents now. I'm not sure what the right pronunciation on that one is. Um, but then 3 bricks of them max, right? Now, I could be off base and say that no, they don't go together, but something tells me the unit that gives their models a 5-up feel no pain and can return a destroyed model back to the unit, or D3 plus 1 if you discard a miracle dice, something tells me it goes with the unit that is -1 to wound when that unit is attached. So for 180 points, you get 11 models, 5 up feel no pain, -1 to wound. Be wounded. Something tells me that. And then you go, alright, you said Jeffrey too. Yeah, coming back over here to now Jeffrey going up to second place, included a squad of them. Alright? Now, from what I could see, don't know too terribly well which one actually is leading them, if any, right? Um, Feel free to tell me on that front, but looks like this unit is good enough, and it looks like sisters are good enough. Now, I'll be honest. I've been on my own crusade of a tirade for you all over here in Sisters. I've said that you all should be playing Army of Faith the entire time because, well, Goonhammer did their kind of update. What happened was, I'll say this for the umpteenth time again, if you all are just finding me on this one. Welcome, by the way. Uh, while Bringers of Flame was cracked, Stephen Box was running shit with Army of Faith. So that tells me that Army of Faith, being untouched by the nerfs, and getting the nerfs reverted as the faction overall, for the most part, should still be good. Especially with a unit like this. Now, I have Hollowed Martyrs pulled up. And I the only reason, the main reason that I don't love Hollowed Martyrs spam so much right now is because this is what we all do every faction every time. Our best detachment gets our detachment that is performing way above the rest, right? Gets hit. And instead of going to our second best because we don't want to look at it, we run back to the index because we're familiar with it. Um, Now, eventually, usually, something happens and we then run to the next detachment after that, after being on index, but it gets hit and then we come back. So I'm just saying, Sometimes we should skip that process of, all right, Bringers got hit. Let's go to Army of Faith instead of Bringers, Hollow, maybe Army of Faith, but it doesn't look like we're reaching that anytime soon. Hallowed Martyrs, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. I just think that the game is getting way killier, and I'm confused. I think I understand where the opposition of the sisters dialogue comes from, where it's like, look, we can't keep up. And I'd argue I agree with Hallowed Martyr's perspective, right? Like, if the game's getting killier, and you all aren't the hardest things to pick up, right? Like, this is still T3. If the game's doing shit like +1 to wound, double of those things, a lot more lethals, removing cover, giving shit that already has AP4 ignores cover, like things like that, I'd agree. I don't know if Hallowed Martyrs can keep up with that. However, you all are doing something over here in Hallowed Martyrs, and it's actually kind of funny that I like. Is it Jeffrey's list? Yeah. Jeffrey here has said twice now, you only die twice. Uh, Especially with Hallowed Martyrs, because the thing that I've been talking about, it's no secret. The game has been helping you move towards having options, I guess, is the way that I want to phrase this right now. Devoted if you need, still good for the past several months, along with Double Oath, Gladius, Gilliman, Calgar, whatever. I guess technically it's more Gilliman and Calgar because we're looking at that spread to Ironstorm, Spearhead, and other shit. Um, but what about those has to do with Hollow Martyrs? Well, in Devoted, if something dies, you get a benefit. Cough, cough. That sounds like sisters, right? Legion of Votan has been looking semi better. Cough, cough. Something dies. There's a benefit. We're looking at things where you get some benefits for some shit dying. So, Hallowed Martyrs, I understand why that might be the play right now, especially when you have something like Divine Intervention to bring your shit back. Another one, Awakened Dynasty. Necrons, they already had that regenerated situation, but in Awakened Dynasty, we're looking at abilities that happen when you get shot at, right? So, from that perspective, I understand Hallowed Martyrs. But at the same time, just want to sneak this in here in this video while I'm talking about it, right? While I'm talking about it. Army of Faith, you just don't need to do 2 acts of faith per phase, and the stratagems are pretty good. Pretty good. Now, those give out auras. If you have Jump Pack, Zephyrum, or Seraphim, from what I understand, everybody keeps telling me about the Seraphim, but I don't really understand that. That's one. Please let me know below why you all prefer Seraphim over Zephyrum. Please. I don't have a Sisters player friend. Well, they're not that well versed in the Sisters. I'll take that back. I had to pause. I'm like, yeah, I do. Um, but they're still like getting into everything, so not an expert on the matter. Either way, tell me why you all prefer Seraphim over Zephyrum in the comments, please. But to that point, an aura, when you target a jump pack, such as Celestine, that has been brought in, was it Jeffrey's list? Or was it. Was it TV? TV? I'm sorry. Please, also, in the comments, if you know how the pronunciation key, I'm sorry. Um, if I've been fucking that up too. So, an aura of -1 to hit, -1 to wound, 5 up, feel no pain, sounds pretty good to me in Army of Faith. As well as some abilities, some stratagems, not necessarily, well, stratagems, but anyway, some stratagems that can, for the cost of CP, generate you some miracle dice, either with Divine Guidance, Faith, and Fury. So that's my sneak in here of you should probably try Army of Faith again. But since it is Sacrosanct that we're talking about here, Champions of Faith, what to do with it. Now, another thing that I've talked about is that GW would save themselves a lot of trouble with wording if they just didn't say some shit. If you didn't say discard up to 3, you just let Sisters players find out that discarding 5 miracle dice in a turn probably was not a good idea. You just let them do the 1 or 2. But to that point, in here, you get +1 OC. They are better battle line, essentially. They don't get the battle line keyword like we've done in other things, but they hit on a 1 when they become righteous, +1 to move, +1 leadership, uh, +1 to hit, basically, on the skills, uh, +1 OC, right? And, the stratagems, you gotta be righteous to do quite a couple of them, and I understand that, across the board. But I'm just saying, I was told this unit was absolute garbage, and maybe this is your thing. And this is the other thing that I like about making these videos, where um, even if I don't necessarily know the faction in and out that well, I like getting the conversation started. Some people will throw tomatoes at me, some people will throw flowers. Because eventually, not to say something will land, but bring attention to it for somebody that's just scrolling YouTube. Somebody, and especially when it's from the outside view, somebody will say something ridiculous to me about tyrannage, and I'm like, there's no way that's right. Then I try it, then I come to my own conclusion if it's worth investigating or not even further. Um, just recently, I'll be honest, something was said that made me consider Molochs again. And I don't think that I've changed my opinion much on the matter, but I could see how we get there. So, things like that is why I like this. Celestian Sacrosands, a lot of you told me it was bad. And if you're watching this, you might not be one of the people that said it was bad. But, maybe try it for yourself now. Maybe try this brick, and maybe take the outsider opinion of Army of Faith and see where that goes for you. Now, I know that you're not a army that is built to last here. I understand that much. But hell, maybe, but compared to Hollowed Martyrs, where, as it was explained to me, I love this explanation that I received when I talked about, I think it was the Army of Faith video, that you're trying to squeeze every ounce of value out of your not sturdy units. You're trying to get every drop of value out of it. That's not exactly the words they say, but that's the message that I, was understanding from it, that you're trying to get more value out of your units and you're trying to go down. So to that point, I will say, I love stratagems like this. We have it in Crusher Stampede. I love the, hey, if you take me out, it's going to hurt you type of stratagems. I talk about that in being one of my favorite stratagems in Assimilation Swarm, Canoptic Court, Necrons. I like this shit. So I can understand playing Hollowed Martyrs on that too. But to that front, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some of, like, here's the other thing where, as a Tyranids player, again, just to relate it back to, so I can show where the logic tracks. If you don't agree or don't understand, I just want to show how my logic tracks. In Invasion Fleet, our best list is a shooting list. All of the stratagems in Invasion Fleet, for lack of everything, right? Like, maybe we won the 5 of Feeling the Pain, but besides that, and the regen gaunts, says fight phase. And we're taking a shooting list, right? That's our best shit. Now, mind you, our entire codex is written like that, but that's where it's like, hell, guys, I don't know. I wonder about you all over there and sisters doing the same thing that we do. Where we're not like we're toppling too many tournaments with our invasion fleet. It's not like we're bringing down the house. Um, but, I just wonder if you all are in the same boat where it's like we keep writing shooting list. Our shooting detachment did get nerfed. I understand that with Bringers of Flame. But no, maybe not the one after that with nothing but fight phase. But hey, if it's working out and it just requires a little bit more tweaks, as we saw that Jeffrey had a slight tweak here within the month between, right? And maybe if that's how it goes, you slowly get closer to taking down every GT and super major in town. So I'm not to say that I don't have any faith in Hollowed Martyrs, but I do see why some of you are saying that it's getting tougher to play Sisters, and I think that Hollowed Martyrs is getting tougher to play right now when everything else in the game is really good at killing things. Like, it's really good at doing that. And then on the last one, I just want to talk about the Palatine, which I also saw in both of those lists. Leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have lethal hits. Now, again, coming back over here, right? +1 to hit, possibly +1 to wound. Lethals, pretty good. Pretty good, right? But can I interest you? Can I interest you? Right? Can I interest you? And lethal lands, lethal +1 AP. Can I interest you in some of that? Or coming back over here to Champions of Faith. Lethal sustained. Can I interest you in some of that? No, maybe. Just saying. I'm just saying that if we're taking palatines to attach to units, I don't know. It seems like you could squeeze even more value on the offense front too, right? Just saying. So if you play sisters, I wish you the best of luck. I never like seeing a faction that is just completely struggling. Like that doesn't make me happy either, just because I have feelings about the way that you all get to play with Miracle Dice, and I have to once per game hope that you fail Battle Shock test on units. We all have our things, but at the same time, I don't want to see you all just in the depths of despair for the rest of the edition either. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment, and until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.